Hi, welcome to this week's episode of Vineyard Spotlight. I'm Jen O'Hanlon with the O'Hanlon Group, and today I have on here with me Angela Prout and Marnelli Murray, and they are from Short Up Digital, and they're going to talk to us today about all things digital marketing, social media. Hi guys, thanks for being here.
Hi, we're so excited to be here. It's so exciting to talk about our favorite thing, which is digital marketing.
Great. So if you could just start by introducing yourselves, a little bit of background of Short Up Digital, how you joined forces to create this business, and sort of what it is.
Yeah, so it's really exciting because this month is our anniversary. So April 29th will be 5 years of Short Up Digital. So we're so proud and happy that our baby's growing up.
Congrats.
And so we are your Martha's Vineyard digital marketing agency. And we do have clients all over New England. We have a lot of clients on the Cape as well. So what we focus on is getting people comfortable being in a digital marketplace, in a digital space, making sure that their digital touch points are shored up. So this is why I love this name, because it does remind people that they really need to take a hold of what their presence is online. We always tell people that you have a great reputation offline, the word of mouth is great, but is that presence as well on digital, right, online? So about 5 years ago, I approached Angela. We were working together. I was the food writer for the Martha's Vineyard Times, and she was my editor. And I reached out to her, and I remember vividly walking up to her. I have a really bad memory, but I remember going up to her and saying, "Hey, do you know anyone that wants to start a social media company?" And she says,
I was like, I'll think about it. I don't think she was necessarily asking me.
I wasn't.
She was just sourcing, information. I'm looking for somebody. Do you know anybody? 5 years later.
5 years later.
We are yin and yang.
We are.
And yeah, we're trying to do, a lot of those things for businesses here, which I think has really evolved. I would say we've safely supported over 100
businesses and
nonprofit businesses and for-profit businesses here. And I think, what we do is assess their digital touch points. A lot of folks will just come to us on a project basis, and it's, okay, can you just take a look at everything that we're doing or we're not doing and let us know where we can improve, right? Yeah. So, go through the website, what's broken, how often does a business sit and go through every page of their website? And that's a good thing, that for seasonal businesses too, and we can talk about that a little bit later, just seeing what's out there, because even if it's not something that you're coming across or you're realizing, that's on your radar, if somebody is just Googling your business or comes to your business from your social media and sees that's something broken, that's where you're losing trust from consumers, right? So we always talk about building trust online, and you do that by having accurate information out there.
Consistent information throughout, so that making sure that the logo that you're using on Facebook is the same logo that's on your website, that's the same logo that press person that asked for some publication also has that same, because consistency is what builds trust as a brand. Mm-hmm. Because when you see a brand that's putting pieces together that don't really fit, then you're like, well, if you can't even manage your own business, then how would I ever trust you to, do my wedding and be my wedding planner? Or how am I going to trust you to even, cut my hair? Mm-hmm. So I think that consistency is always a big word that we use, not only on how you should present yourself on social, because showing up consistently is a key factor, but also making sure that all of your digital touch points are consistent. And consistently, they could either be consistently good or consistently bad, but consistent.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is all amazing information, but I have to, for the people out there who don't have social media, and I can tell you for myself, when I was doing real estate and I had a coach, and they said, okay, now you're gonna do social media, you're gonna be on Facebook, you're gonna make videos, Instagram. And I thought, I don't want to do that. And they said, well, you have to be where people are. And we all know everybody's scrolling. And even those who aren't, they need to understand that most people, that's what they do. Yeah. So can you give us some basics for the people out there who don't have Facebook, don't have Instagram, maybe hardly know what that even is, but they've got maybe a good business, but they know that they should be doing that, and any digital marketing, and maybe they don't even have a website, and maybe they could have an email newsletter, or what would you say is a place to start, and even adding to maybe why it's important?
I think that's a big question. And honestly, when people come to us and they will say, well, I'm busy all summer. I don't really need a website. I don't need email marketing. I don't want to be on Instagram. I make my money in the summer and I'm good. And I remind them, I'm like, have you ever seen like the Gucci, like luxury ads? Tesla, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. They're on social. They don't need to be on social. It's going to sell either way. So making sure that people, I think it's the education piece. It's saying you need to be in these spaces because that is where your consumer is, And so making sure that people start off with, if you do have a business, a website is it's like that's the one thing you should have 100%, whether your website is cutting hair. Angela has a great website for her hair cutting business, Coast to Coast Cuts. But also making sure that it is just, you don't have to, it's not reinventing the wheel. It's a website, 3 pages, an about page, because if press is looking for you, if a publication wants to write about you, Yankee Magazine, Bon Appetit wants to reach out to your restaurant, and there is not an about page to tell me exactly, I need 3 sentences. Don't start it with an 1872. Yes, that's good and that's great for your history, but I as a writer and a journalist, I need three sentences for you to tell me, what is this business about? I can't resume your history page to get an about section of you, right? Then a contact page. The contact page should definitely have it. I'm going through like a full, what should your website have? Because I think it's very helpful for people to understand that their website doesn't have to be the most robust page. An about section. It could be a 1 page, right?
And if they can't afford to hire somebody to help them with it, there's
so many
do-it-yourself
platforms. Yep. You have to take the time, right? And so that is a resource, and you have to invest time. But and I think something that Marnelli touched on, if like a business owner that thinks they're busy and they don't want to invest in this, like you don't know when somebody might be looking for your business. It's not the person that's coming, to your window to like order the ice cream. It could be, like an editor from Yankee doing a top 10 of like best places to get ice cream, on the Cape and Islands, and like that's an opportunity that you might miss out on being a part of.
That you will 100% miss out.
You will, because she doesn't have the time to pick up the phone anymore, right? It's like how often we're getting asked constantly for information about, Martha's Vineyard businesses, whether they're our clients or not, and wanting to have kind of like a press kit for your business, just something that is easy to find online. And I also want to say, if it's a brick and mortar business, Google more than even a website first and foremost. If you can verify your Google business listing and you have, again, back to an ice cream shop example, especially with our seasonal businesses here, they're not all
they're not open year round.
Yeah. So I see that it's temporary closed now. Once you open, I want to see what your hours are. You want to encourage people to leave reviews. Leave reviews.
Oh, but Angela, my hours change because my staffing changes. Like I just don't want to put any hours up there. It's consistently, we hear it. Yeah. I don't want to put the hours on because like my staff hasn't come in, and so the hours in April are going to be different than May. Then put the hours this week, this hour. These are the hours. Like put anything on there. Be mindful
of updating it.
Yes.
Okay, so if it's a new business, not somebody who's already established and may not need extra help, what would you recommend for, what should they do to start off with? We did talk about websites. So say they have their website, now what?
We think that it's a good reminder to tell people the word social media. So you have the media piece where you're going to get your accounts. You're going to log into Instagram, create an account. You're going to create a business Facebook page, right? So you're going to start populating those accounts with photos.
Because you will have invested in good photography.
Very big key is, what am I going to post? Oh, here, can you do my accounts? Okay, where are the photos? Oh, I don't have any photos. Well, this isn't a podcast.
Could be your niece running around.
Again, taking
pictures.
photos.
You don't have to spend $3,000 on professional photos.
Well, we do agree that, of course. But at the beginning, use the resources you have. And start posting that media. But the first word in social media is social. So you have to build community. You go on the platforms, set a timer, spend an hour on Instagram, following people in your community, DMing, like things that happen in DMs, like the relationships that I've personally created with people in direct messages on Instagram are wild. Like they're my besties. I would, not give my life for anyone, but, really become really close friends, because it is like having access to someone consistently. So as a brand new business, cultivate those relationships. Really start, if you don't see people following you, start commenting on people's accounts. Be social, like that piece. And when people hire us to manage their accounts, it's not like we're posting a photo and throwing our phones, over the bridge. We're not doing that. We are then spending a lot of time in the engagement piece. So we are engaging on behalf of a business. That's like half of our work is sitting on my couch, liking, commenting from all of our business accounts on other community or possible consumer accounts.
And I think, what we see a lot of in Instagram now, because there are a lot more businesses here that are spending the time and the resources to be there, and nothing makes us happier than seeing businesses that are not our clients do well on social media.
Yes.
And when we're posting something, if our client is also a member of the Chamber of Commerce and these organizations that we have offline relationships with, or the Vineyard Haven, Business Association, or OBA, or Edgartown Board of Trade, like, we're tagging those accounts. That one piece of content is then being shared, especially with a new business. Like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Cat Boat Coffee. I think they're doing an amazing job because they seeded themselves in the community. So yes, it's about social media, but it's about going out and being seen and becoming a valuable asset and resource and being self-promotional, and then turning around when you have the actual business and aligning yourself with these larger groups that are going to help you exponentially increase your message, which we can do, on social media, you can do, but also getting out there and being comfortable promoting yourself.
Yeah, it's one of the first questions we'll ask a new client or someone that comes to us is, what are you a member of? Are you a part of the Rotary Club? Are you a part of the Chamber of Commerce, the Board of Trades? What are you a member of that you can use that network to then promote your business slowly, right? So it's always worth it. The membership fees are very minimal compared to like the access that you get to benefits, which is sometimes mind-blowing that a lot of businesses reconsider the $300 that it is to become a member of any of these organizations, to then the benefits that you're getting from them, social, like online and offline, are wild.
It's like cheaper.
So
than
we're
one
big,
Facebook
like we're big cheerleaders of always promoting these associations and organizations because they have huge benefits. So if you're not a part of the Chamber of Commerce, if you're not a part of your local town business associations, reach out to them, become a member, see how you can bring your skills and help them also, because it is obviously a give and take. Like, yes, you are giving them that money, but also like, how can what can I do for my country? And don't ask that. Like, ask, not what can your country going to do for you, but making sure that that is just a cyclical, relationship. Like, it's a beneficial relationship for both of you.
I think providing information and providing value to people through social media is great. And I think that's what people starting out, they don't understand that, they might have information they can educate, whether they're, landscaper or restaurant owner, but, to provide, like in real estate, that's what I do.
You're doing such an amazing job.
And you
Seriously,
do, like, you hit the nail on the head with that, because people are like, oh, well, my business is so boring. No one wants to hear about real estate. Angela over here is like looking at Jen's stuff like,
oh
my God.
You're giving it to me in like layman's terms in a nice way, right? Because I don't know a lot of the ins and outs, and you're speaking to me because you want to educate me, and I save so much of your content.
Yeah,
You're
but
doing
like even
job.
landscapers, like we were just talking about how I watch landscape TikToks because it's so relaxing to watch. And again, when people hire us, it's like we come in as someone that's outside that is not deep in your business. So like, you're cooking, your like restaurant, you've seen it so many times, and we'll come in and be like, well, have you ever talked about how you make your stuffed quahogs, and that's your grandma's recipe? And they're like, well, we've been making them for 40 years, 80 years.
Yeah, right.
Who cares?
It's like they're jaded.
It's like the same recipe, and it's like, but is it the same recipe to the online world? No. So I think having that set of that fresh eyes, if you can't hire a service like us, having a friend that you have that relationship with, hey, can you take a look at my website? Can you tell me like, hey, look at my business. What are 3 things you want to know about cutting hair? I have no clue how you cut hair, but like, and here's the thing, it's aspirational. I have a food blog, cookingwithbooks.net, right? And I make recipes, and people save these recipes thousands of times a day. Are they making these recipes? No.
But one day.
It's not here. They just want to have the content. They want to receive the content. They want to see, hey, what's the perfect way to boil eggs? It might be as simple as that, but it is educational, it is entertaining, and it informs people. So make sure that your content does any of that or all of that is key.
And you find your audience.
Yes.
It's not going to be for everyone, but whoever is interested will go.
Of course.
Okay. Anything else you want to add today?
I was going to say, like, just talking back about getting comfortable being self-promotional.
Yes.
Kind of like you had alluded to, if there's a business that someone isn't comfortable being on camera, people love to see people, right? So a lot, if you think about the businesses that you follow, which is a good exercise no matter what, right? Spending time on social media if you're new to it, following other businesses, seeing what they're doing, and you'll see that a lot of, the top performing businesses is somebody talking to you. So if you are comfortable, putting your face out there, and if you're not, there's ways around it, but trying to get more comfortable doing that, and then just thinking about your personal sphere of influence, right? And like emailing your friends.
Oh,
to
Angela's
start
big on this.
with your
the
newsletter,
personal.
right?
Yeah.
Like just like it's in my inbox. You're talking to me. Email marketing, I guess, too. If you know, the website, Google, and then email marketing.
We were just talking about email marketing, and it's like, well, I don't want to be salesy, and I'm like, how many times does Wayfair email you when you leave something in your cart? 17 times in one day, and you know, like,
but I'm still on their text. Like, I'm still Brooklinen, sure, maybe.
And by the 5th email, I've bought the coffee table because I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna. It's easier to buy the coffee table than to unsubscribe.
Or I unsubscribe.
But if
What's
you
the worst
unsubscribe,
case?
right, that means that the person isn't interested.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So
and
then
not
it's not for
taking
you.
things personally is key on social media. Like I am big on, and I try to practice what I preach, because does it hurt me? Like if I go to home and I see an unsubscribe and it's Miranda post, she's like, oh, unsubscribe. Of course, I'm like, but you know what? Maybe she doesn't like to cook. Maybe cooking is not her thing. Then I'm like, okay, then she's not my audience. So making sure not to take things personally, and knowing that there's always going to be haters out there that are going to be like, oh, you have bread in your stuffed quahogs. That's not how my mom makes it. It's always going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think that realizing that you have to be as authentic as possible, but knowing that you're not everyone's cup of tea, period.
Right.
And it's okay.
And casting wide nets, you know, do a lot of things and see what works, you know, especially as it relates to social media. I mean, there's insights and analytics that can help, you know, dictate where you should be spending your time more often than not. But, you know, especially if it's something that is new to you or new to your business, really kind of utilizing the resources of YouTube, of people like us that, you know, can even help you with a consultation, of somebody in your life that might have more knowledge than you do, and taking the time to invest in it and getting comfortable, you know, sharing your messages with as many people as you can think of that you touch, because, you know, our friends want to support us generally if they're our friends. You know, it's like we leverage our personal, you know, social networks a lot on behalf of our business because they're interested to see what Marnelli and I are doing because they like us and they want us to succeed. And I feel the same way. That's why we're here. We like you, right? We love what Jen's doing. We love that you're, you know, showcasing MVTV and the resources of this place. And Michelle's doing great work. And like every time we get these opportunities, now we can turn around. I mean, we have meetings back to back today where I'm like, we came from MVTV. What they're doing over there is mind blowing. Jen and Miranda are crushing it, you know. And like now, that's
the word of mouth.
That's it. Right.
That's where we
and
become
it's
influencers.
Be on Instagram today, right?
course.
All this.
Yes.
Exactly.
So it's bringing that offline reputation online. So this is offline right now, and it's going to be online because we're going to be putting it on social and all of that, but making sure and feeling comfortable doing so. Like being salesy is not a negative thing. It's not.
If people want what you're selling and you're educating and providing value.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today.
Yeah, this was lovely.
Oh,
So
good.
fun.
And thank you, everyone, for watching. And tune in next week for another episode of Vineyard Spotlight.